Meeting called to order as per the requirement of Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Notice is hereby given. This is a regular meeting of the Borough of Highlands, Mayor and Council, and all requirements have been met. Notice has been transmitted to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times. Notice has been posted on the public bulletin board. Formal action will be taken. And we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilmember Briand.
Here.
Councilmember Card is absent. Councilmember Diarigo.
Here.
Councilmember Wells.
Here.
Mayor O'Neill.
Here.
Public comment on the resolutions. I'd like to open the meeting. Would anyone like to speak on the resolutions and resolutions only?
No.
Okay, approval of the minutes, the July 19th, 2017 minutes. Are there any amendments?
I'll offer them. I'll second them.
Roll call.
Councilmember Briand.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
Yes.
The minutes were properly approved. August 16th, 2017 minutes. Were there any amendments?
None.
May I have a motion?
Motion. I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Briand.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill. Okay. The minutes were properly approved. The consent agenda includes Resolution 17-155, authorized signatures on borough accounts. Resolution 17-156, certifying review of the 2016 audit report. Resolution 17-157, adopting the corrective action plan for the 2016 audit. Resolution 17-158, authorized execution of the Community Development Block Grant Project Agreement with the Monmouth County. Resolution 17-159, authorized payment of bills. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Briand.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
Yes.
The consent agenda was properly approved. Resolution 17-160, authorizing award for non-fair and open contract for sewer cleaning and TV inspection. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Briand.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
Yes.
Resolution 17-160 has been properly approved. Resolution 17-161, awarding a fair and open contract for the 2017 Capital Road Improvement Project.
I'll offer that.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I would just add that the award of the contract is subject to DOT approval, which has been incorporated into that resolution.
Roll call.
Councilmember Briand.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
Yes.
Resolution 17-161 has been properly approved. Ordinance for introduction is ordinance 17-16. It's to update the borough's adoption of International Property Maintenance Code. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Briand.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
Yes.
Ordinance 17-16 has been properly introduced. The public hearing and possible adoption will be held on September 20th. Ordinance introduction for 17-17, amend the code concerning lawn sprinklers.
I'll move that. I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Briand.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
Yes.
Ordinance 17-17 has been properly introduced. Public hearing and possible adoption will be held on September 20th. Ordinance for a public hearing and possible adoption, providing for a stipend for healthcare benefits waiver to employees. It's already been published in the Two River Times on August 24th, 2017.
I'll make that motion.
You open it to the public.
The public. Questions? No, I'll close it.
Do I have a motion?
I still will.
I'll second. And I'll also just say that this is something that, although it has been a practice, we never had anything in our ordinances that showed that we were following the state guidelines. So this is just more housekeeping that Mr. Chabert is making us more compliant.
Councilmember Rion?
Yes.
Councilmember Diariga?
Yes.
Councilmember Wells?
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill?
Yes.
Ordinance 1750 has been properly adopted. Other business, consideration of street vacancy for Holly Street. The consideration is to determine whether we will consider the request and put it out to the other departments for review.
This is for preliminary review. It was submitted by Bay Avenue Towers for the unimproved right-of-way of Holly Street. It consists of a 65-foot by 30-foot unimproved right-of-way constituting 1950 or 1,950 square feet. If the governing body gives the preliminary approval to this request, the applicant must post a refundable escrow deposit for professional fees and costs of reviewing the request. Based on Chapter 8, Section 3.3, that would be a $1,250 escrow deposit. All actual costs and expenses incurred by the borough with regard to the consideration of that request and or the adoption of any street vacation ordinance shall be paid from the escrow deposit, which includes professional fees, publication costs, recording costs, and certified mail costs. If the actual costs do exceed that escrow amount, that is billable to the applicant upon notice. If the governing body does give the preliminary approval, upon receipt of the escrow deposit, this request is then forwarded to the borough administrator, the Department of Borough Works, the borough engineer, the borough attorney, and the other agencies and utilities that are deemed advisable for recommendation and report. I would caution the property owner applicant, I believe he's here today. Okay. There are adjoining property owners that are in the vicinity. We don't know at this point whether they will have to be offered that a portion of the street vacation because we don't know how the borough acquired that property, whether it was by dedication or by easement. The only way we're going to get the information is through a full title search, and that's ordered upon receipt of the escrow deposit. We don't know what the cost of the title search will be because title companies base it upon how complex that title search is. We'll find out, but we don't do that until once we receive the escrow deposit, provided the governing body gives preliminary approval to the street vacation request. Any questions?
None for me. If these guys, do they have any questions already? No, it sounds.
We have a motion to consider the vacancy.
For preliminary approval.
The preliminary.
Sure.
I'll second it. Sure. That's fine.
Councilmember Brion?
Yes.
Councilmember Diariga?
Yes.
Councilmember Wells?
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill?
Yes.
The motion has been approved. Next.
To the applicant, we now require to post an escrow amount in $1,250 to the borough, and upon that, the borough professional will commence their investigation, give their report recommendation to the governing body, and you'll be advised as to when they'll make their final decision. Okay? Okay.
Good, thank you.
Next order of business, enforcement of grease traps.
I actually just put this on the agenda because we had some issues with our grease traps. Well, we've had them for quite some time. And in speaking with Mark and the DPW, they seem to be getting worse. I know the mayor asked for Mark and Brian, Paul Vitale to coordinate a meeting. But at this point, Paul Vitale's kind of saying there's not enough teeth in the ordinance. However, the ordinance does read that they should be checked once a year. So who's checking them once a year?
Exactly.
That's,
And
we
the
can.
ordinance also provides for fines of anywhere from $2,500 to $10,000 if it's solid waste, which is what grease is. So I'm not certain about the lack of teeth, it's that there's lack of inspections.
Right, and I agree with you, and I wanted to just bring it here, however, Brian's not here, Doug's not here.
Right.
So I would say, I know, in Atlantic Highlands, we share the same employee that does in Atlantic.
Right.
So I'd like to see them happen, within the next, there's only a finite number of them. So if we can see these inspections happen within the next 2 weeks,
Exactly.
it's not that difficult
And
to
it should
do.
be at least once a quarter.
Right, and then if Paul wants to provide subsequent ordinances that he feels might have more teeth, he can go ahead and do so, but at least we know, because it's really, we're spending quite a bit of money on these issues.
Absolutely, because we're spending a lot more money on having to get our sewers repaired from all of these blockages and calling in Oswald and having the drains constantly cleaned out than if we just had regular inspections and with these, I don't know where there's no teeth, $2,500, $2,000 worth of fines, sounds a pretty hefty fine to me. So I think we just need to start getting the inspections done.
So I think, without Brian here, Bonnie, would you be able to give him that directive?
Yes.
Borough Code 16.3.5 does address grease traps, and there is a provision that says the plumbing subcode official will perform periodic inspections of these facilities and notify the user of any additional part maintenance or repairs. So we are reviewing the ordinance based upon the information.
I just don't believe that the biggest problem with grease traps is their location to the hot water source. When you clean with a superheated water, it's almost steam. It flows right through the grease traps in a liquid form and coagulates downstream. So part of the plan might have to be to have the establishments move those grease traps further down the line, so grease can actually cool, come out of the water, and be picked up. There could be some pain coming from this, but it's the way it is.
Another option, and I discussed this with Carla, is to have the restaurants band together with HBP's help to get some sort of a group rate from cleaning services. So if they were to say, hey, we'll give you the whole town for X amount of dollars, and then this service would just go and get everybody. And that way, everybody passes inspection, grease is out of our sewers, and we're all good to go. So there's many different options that you could use to work for this. So
Well,
so
with
what
the
if we-
closeness of the
I
hot
understand-
water source
I
and the
understand what
grease,
you're
they're
saying.
all clean. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, not clean until
Well,
then
you
it's open our sewer.
understand, Paul.
And then actually, I guess maybe if we can have an update from the next council meeting, that they were all, or at least an email circulated by the time of the next council meeting.
All right.
Is that good for everybody?
I know the next thing on the agenda is the administrator's update, and since he's absent, due to something going on in his family. I did have a couple of things that we were working on. I didn't realize he wasn't going to be here today, but just to give an update, T&M did a full scope of work for the work on Valley Street, a portion of Portland Road as well as Hillside, leading up into Twin Lakes Terrace. And so we gave that full scope, and that is going to go out for RFP for engineering next week. I'm trying to think of what else. Yep, just look at sure, just 1 second. Something that we should consider, and we can speak about this later, but there's still the gas tank that are at the DPW yard. Should we go forward with doing that? Somebody sends in a quote to have them fixed. I think we should probably get another couple of quotes just so that we have our 3 or 4, make the decision, are we gonna have gas tanks here, are we not? It's gonna save us a lot of money. We could also sell the gas to the Board of Education vehicles, neighboring towns. I think it would be a smart thing for us to do.
I think really BC, right, Atlantic has gas.
True.
They have gas. I guess it's a decision.
Well, doesn't cost any money to send out an RFP, to do an RFP. So, in my opinion, I think it would be smart to send out the RFP, get a couple more bids in there, to see what it costs to get these mitigated and cleaned out. And the DEP also said that they want to raise the valves about 2 or 3 feet.
I inquired to an individual who's in the business, and I think he brought back a quote on that, but the only one.
Right.
Right.
But I'm saying we need to go out and get a couple more.
I don't know how many guys are in the business, but yeah.
Right.
Not a problem.
I'm sure it's not a tremendous amount, but we need to have more than one, at least to
Sure.
for the purchasing costs. That's all I have.
I had a meeting with Brian Gagan and T&M concerning the situation with the open space grant, and I just want to clarify some of the rumors that are flying out there about the bathrooms. First, we're not going to be putting in for any monies until the first phase is completed. The rumor that seems to be floating around that we want to clarify is that we have not been excluded because of the way the bathroom is. Someone has started that rumor. I want to make sure that I'm perfectly clear that that was done properly. It's not going to be excluded from the grant because of the location of where it is. We have a second part of that grant that we need to do. And T&M, when we met with T&M, they told Brian and I one thing about getting a permit. And then when we pushed on the issue about getting the permit for the second bathroom at Veterans Park, we do need to get a permit for that bathroom there. So they are, T&M, a CAFR permit, and they are working on that. So we are not putting in for the money. We have 30 months before we need to put in for the money, but we would like to put it in within the year, but we're not putting in for anything until the entire phase is finished. The phase is this bathroom, the awning, the shower outside, the bathroom at Veterans Park with the shower. That's the whole first phase that we received $150,000 from Monmouth County for, and we're matching with 150. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that, and that's why Brian and I met with T&M.
So are you saying I didn't screw it up as much as you said?
Well, we,
Okay.
I didn't say you screwed it up.
You did, I read the email, I read it.
And also,
Okay.
after the season's done, are we gonna be putting drainage in the floors and tiling the walls and changing out the toilet?
We're not tiling the walls, the toilet has already been in the works to change. They are putting in a type of a floor that's done in most of the bathrooms. It's almost like a rubberized floor with a drain in it, and they are putting up something on the walls. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, kind of like the bathroom showers that you see. It's almost like plasticky kind of thing.
Right.
The fear-
instruments, yeah.
The fear is if you put tile and it cracks, somebody could get cut, or it's a pain in the neck to replace.
Well, yeah, just anything
Yeah.
that's easier to clean than sheet rock, because an outdoor
Yeah.
bathroom should be sheet rock.
It'll be right over the sheet.
When do we
It's like an
winterize?
ASEC kind of
When
thing.
do we winterize? Have to be winterized.
Especially
I would
the shower.
assume we would change out the toilet before we realize. Because I know the toilet hasn't been changed yet. It was
Yeah, they're
overflowing
waiting
last week.
on the one, because of changing,
They're
the
gonna,
order was with the new
Mark
borough
was
hall,
gonna order the one that should be in there for the new borough hall and
Right.
swap them
and they're
out.
swapping them out. Right.
That way we didn't have to buy it.
Anything else? Public portion. Sudo?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. I'll make this short and sweet as possible.
Can you please state your name and address for the
Oh,
record?
I'm sorry. Robert Suto, S-U-T-O, 3 Bayview Street, Highlands. Okay. Next to my house, which is 5 feet from my bedroom, is an old tree. It's about 55 feet high. It's on a piece of city property that's approximately 14 feet wide by 50 feet long. This tree is 5 feet from my window, my bedroom window. It's infested with ivy. It's very puffed out on the bottom. It's getting worse every year. The bottom keeps growing and growing and growing out this way above the dirt. And a lot of mushrooms in the spring come out of it. There's a very large branch on this tree. Obviously, at one time, some of the branches behind it from my backyard have been cut off. And there's this one gigantic branch that screws out over the street and over the electrical wires. That's another one of the concerns with this tree. This tree comes down, my house is shot. This tree goes across the street, comes down, house across from me. I'm on a dead-end street, that house is shot. I spoke to, what's his name here, Dave Marcado. Last week, he came over, he took a couple pictures of it. He said he was gonna get in touch with Kristen Lee. And Kristen Lee called me at 8 o'clock at night last Thursday and told me that I would have to get a permit to have the tree cut down. That sparked me. Then the second thing he said, if you want to, you can trim it yourself. I'm 78 years old. I ain't gonna be climbing up on that. I'm on Social Security. And I've been here for 10 years. And where am I gonna go? And what am I gonna do? I gotta climb a ladder up on that tree. This ivy has grown way up on the top, at least 20 feet higher than the ground. And it's pushing out more and more and more every year. It's getting worse and worse. So I don't know where else to go with this, but to come and see you people.
Do you know your lot and block offhand?
I beg your pardon?
Do you know your lot and block offhand?
Oh, gee, I don't know. I'm number 3, Bayview. I couldn't tell you that. I don't have the information with me.
I'm just asking because I have the map here and I'm checking.
Oh, okay, I'm number 3 on the last house on Bayview. There's 3 houses. I'm the 3rd one. I'm where the road turns. It's dead end part. That's where I'm at. So I would appreciate it if somebody would come up there that has knowledge, that knows about this tree, if it's diseased now, if it's gonna get worse later, with the ivy on it, and then nice storm and take that baby down. That's why I came here tonight. My wife told me to come.
You mentioned electrical wires, have you contacted,
Yeah, they said it's not their problem. We did that 2 years ago. I think it was right after the road was paved. And my wife asked them about that, about taking that branch off, because it's really big and it's real long. It's the only thing on that side of the tree. And they said it's not their responsibility. And that was the end of the conversation. She never went any further with it. So that's the whole situation.
We'll have a look at that, sir.
Okay, good. And also I wanted to say, the dirt that's around the street on the curbside, when they paved that road around the corner on the side of my house, there was no curbing there. And that dirt just keeps disappearing towards the tree. Now this last storm we had, heavy rainstorm we had, I lost about another maybe 8 inches, 9 inches of dirt along that where it was supposed to be a curb. Now in front of my house has a curb and a sidewalk. I'm the only one with a sidewalk, but the other houses have curbs. The only one with a sidewalk, but on that part, there's nothing. And that water comes down off the driveways, which are hills, 2 houses on hills across from me, right down, plus the rain. I'm cleaning it up in front.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll have somebody look at that.
And that's it, I appreciate it very much,
Okay.
thank you.
More than likely, if that's the case, we're gonna have to get a contractor to cut that tree down.
Pardon?
I said, more than likely, we would have to get a contractor to cut that tree down.
Yeah, yeah.
It might be a little too much for our DPW, but we'll send them up and look.
Yeah, see, the thing is too, like I told you, I'm on SS, and how long is that gonna go? And I just, all my savings I had was $4,000, and I used it all on a 2-year-old dog. I had surgery done on him, up at the Veterans Hospital in St. Paul's. That was my bank account.
Okay.
So blame him.
We'll look into it, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Steve Sauer?
Steve Solomon, 205 Bay Avenue. I just wanted to follow up on what I asked last meeting about an independent task force for the bid.
I've got no word back on it.
The bid hasn't had a meeting on it
Good.
in the last month,
Yeah,
so I'm assuming it would be an agenda.
I had a conversation with Carla, a very productive one. and
Oh,
I
okay,
just
so
wanted
you
to-
probably know what this is.
Well, but I just wanted a little bit more structure. Maybe you guys get involved. What came out of the meeting was positive, and we're going to take it a couple steps forward. But your help would be appreciated also.
Okay.
In structure. Thank you.
Carol, up there?
I'm gonna pass.
Greg Wells? Yeah, I'll pass.
Everybody's passed out now.
Joanne?
Here's it.
Nassaro?
Yes.
Joanne Checro, and I see FORO, B1 Ocean View Terrace, Highlands, up at Twin Lights. Very happy to see that the resolution for the road improvements have passed. I just want to verify that Hillside Avenue is going to be included in that project. Our residents have been asking for years to have that road paved. It's a mess. The road was patched. The former borough administrator, Tim, had told us and me directly that they choose the roads. Highlands Borough chooses the roads to be paved by the traffic that's on that road.
That's not, that's,
Okay,
I'm not gonna
that's,
say that's a lie, but that's not how it is.
yeah, well, that's what he told us.
That's
And
what the driver's in
I have emails from him stating that
I'm not
that's how they're
debating that.
chosen. Carolyn's been working with me, we've gotten emails back and forth stating that you're, what is it?
This is the one that I just mentioned when we were summing up the rest of the meeting.
Okay,
The particular project for that capital roads improvement,
Right.
that does not include Hillside, that includes Bay Street.
well, how do we get Hillside?
Well, what I'm saying is that we're sending out a second one that's going out for engineering. Well, it's an RFP for engineering that's gonna cover Hillside, Portland Road, and Valley Street.
But I thought engineering already said that Hillside should
No,
be.
what they did is, yes, what they had to do is after that, they did a scope of work. So then, once you get a scope of work, that has to go out for bid to a bunch of engineers, then we get back all the bids, we see who's gonna give us the best price to do the project, and then we award it.
So then that means it's not included in this.
Not in this particular resolution, but it's going to be included in that
Okay,
resolution.
so time-wise, what
soon.
are we looking at? Because we've been asking for 3 and 4 years. I've lived there for 18 years. And the only thing that's happened is this has been patched over and over again. The last time it was patched,
When we go out to bid, it's generally 2 weeks that we give the bidders a chance to come back to us with costs.
okay, but
And
then
then-
it has to
then
go
we-
through an
Then we have to
approval.
award it, and then we award the engineer, and then the engineer then has to go out to bid to the different contractors and make a recommendation as to which contractor it goes to, then we again have to award that. And then, weather permitting, construction can begin.
Okay, so time-wise, what are we looking at?
6 months.
6
Probably
months?
6 months?
A year?
No,
Okay, well,
not
what
if I can
happened?
help it in weather permitting.
Yeah, I know. What happened to, we're gonna get it in this resolution?
It was never part of that resolution.
No.
That was part of that.
No, and that resolution has been going back and forth for a long, not that the resolution is going back and forth, but getting those particular roads done has been hanging around for a long time. It took a while to get the scopes, because there's a
Well,
lot of
we
different
feel
things going on in
neglected.
those streets.
We totally feel neglected. We have 140 units at Twin Lights. Approximately 98% of our residents do not have children that are in the schools. So all of our tax dollars, we would like to know where it's going. And we just can't get a small little road paved.
It's in the process, but the process takes a little bit of time.
Okay. So can we be assured that within 6 months that it is going to be done?
No. Because if the weather, if it can't be done
Or
by
that
October,
it-
November, then it's
I
not
know
gonna
that
go
we
to the
have to
spring.
wait, right. We're one of the last roads to be
No,
cleared also.
not necessarily,
So-
because even the two that we spoke about on the other project, we're hoping to start them right away, but that takes time. Engineering is what the engineers say has to be done to the road.
Okay, can you understand our frustration
I
though?
understand, absolutely.
Okay,
I understand the frustration of everybody that drives down a pothole, the road with pothole, and that's why
Yeah, I
we're trying
mean-
to fix it.
What somebody did was put 2 orange stripe barrels out there. And they've been in the road for maybe 6 months or a year. That's not fixing the road. The patches that were done on the top portion, when they were first done, one of our residents fell. If it was me, it would have been a lawsuit.
I don't know where you're at on that.
Yeah. She was very kind and she didn't do anything.
Okay.
So, I mean, those are the
I can
kind
see that the orange cones being removed and having a temporary fix put on that.
well, we don't want anything temporary.
Well, you're gonna have to have something temporary, you're gonna have orange cones.
Well,
Okay.
that was the fix that's been done.
No, well, that's not a sufficient fix, you know that and I know that.
Yeah, I
You
know,
sit there.
that's why I'm here tonight. I'd rather be home
So,
watching TV.
what I would say is that there'll be a temporary fix put on that until this gets settled out.
Okay,
I know where you're at, I've seen it, I went up there, look.
all right,
Okay.
all right. And thank you, Rebecca and Carolyn, for the time that you've put in it. It's really appreciated. And
Okay.
we really want to move forward
It'll get
with
done.
this.
It might get done before that.
Okay.
You know, it might get done before that. I don't know where the engineers are on it.
It's just gonna go out on Monday.
Out
So
to
that's
bid.
it, yes.
Okay, so
Because it's a fairly large and detailed scope of work that needs to go out for
oh, so
engineering.
you're bidding out the engineering
And then bidding out the job.
and then bidding out the job,
So
okay.
you're bidding out the engineering, then bidding out the job, then coming to us for an award, so
See,
I
the
think
process
2
would have
weeks
been shorter if
2
our
weeks, yeah.
engineers
had done it.
engineered it. But now you're putting the engineering
I'm
out
sorry,
there, I
I'm
didn't
laughing
understand
because
that.
I've worked my entire career in the private sector and, you know.
Life's much easier in the private sector.
And then we also don't know what the conditions are once we start ripping up everything.
I know.
And it could be that the reason that your road is having so many issues is there's a storm sewer break or something else is going on.
Okay,
Well,
which
we're
is
not gonna know
then a
until we get
township,
in there.
which is then a borough issue.
Part of that
Absolutely,
job.
absolutely.
Right.
It'll be taken care of altogether
You don't
with
wanna
the
just
paving.
go up there and throw blacktop, you wanna make sure the engineers look
We
at it,
understand.
everything underneath is solid, so.
I mean, we redo our roads every, you know, our parking lots, maybe every 3 or 4 years. So it's nice once we go into our parking lots, but driving up there, I feel like I live in a slum.
Okay, so the orange cones are in the hole and the hole hasn't been repaired, so the engineer looks at it. See, I was confused here, I didn't know that we were putting the engineering out to bid. We have our own engineer, okay? Like the other projects, our engineer, town engineer, G&M, did the engineering on that job. So that went along faster. This job, we're asking for other engineers to come in, give us a bid on what it'll cost us for them to do the work. Then they're gonna engineer it, and they're gonna put it out to bid, and then the companies that do the work are gonna bid on it.
Okay, so then
And
just
then-
added another,
Yes.
another 3 months. Maybe by the spring,
Maybe by the spring,
thank you.
okay?
You'll keep in touch.
Yes.
Thank you.
Joanne, just for actually for everyone's sake, the reason that we go out to bid is because you wanna get the best possible price for the best possible work.
I understand.
And if
I
you
work in
continuously
construction.
rely on one contractor all
I
the
know.
time and don't go out, it just, you have to keep
And
everybody honest.
don't take it wrong, I'm not saying
No,
that, I
I'm
just didn't know that
explaining
that's
this.
what happened.
I understand the
Explain
process, I understand the process. It's just that we've been asking for a very, very long time. This is the furthest that we've gone. And
Okay.
again, I appreciate your help, and
Absolutely.
that's why we voted for it.
Chris Francis, you're good with this?
Yes.
Okay.
Chris Francie, 36 Fifth Street, 2 quick questions. Well, I'm gonna try, Rick. The contract to clean and TV Valley Street, I'm assuming that's going to inform the engineers in the engineering study? That's why you're doing it?
Find out what's in the ground, yes.
Exactly, and it's actually Valley and Cedar.
And, which is a good idea, the concept you were leaving it off didn't make sense to me, but that's a separate issue. All right, can I make sure that when Oswald cleans the storm drains out, that they don't deposit the spoils at the end of Valley Street in front of the pump house like they did the last big cleaning that happened, I think was post Sandy, but they just backed the truck up in front of the pump station and dumped it and let
They're
it drain.
supposed to put it in the borough yard.
Well, it didn't happen in,
Okay.
all I'm saying is that,
you know, wherever you put it,
Becky will relate that to
Yeah, I'll
Mark.
let Mark know to make sure that he's
Oswald
responsible.
like to do it that way because it's very convenient. And it just creates a stinky mess.
You don't like that?
And the second quick question is, Brian C., on the grease trap, do we still have the procedure where we have to inspect the restaurant's records as an affirmative statement that they disposed of the grease properly? Because that's the part that's falling down the wayside.
We were just requested to take a look at the ordinance. Your ordinance is relatively all-encompassing.
Correct.
And it gives quite a bit of discretion to the plumbing subcode official. I only read a portion to 4, but the plumbing subcode official can give written notification to the user to perform maintenance within 14 days, and if they don't, they can be fined. The question is, we were asking for more teeth into it, so now we're evaluating it. But I think it's really initial enforcement here and making sure that the officials are going out and doing that.
And the enforcement part that we've fallen down on, we could never get anybody to go visit the restaurant and see that they were disposing the grease properly.
Well, records shall be submitted in accordance with the ordinance, March 1st and September 1st of the plumbing subcode official. So as I said, your ordinance is relatively all-encompassing, though we're looking to make it better.
That was my understanding.
But it's an enforcement issue.
It is an
But it
enforcement
says-
issue, and if we took care of if we made sure that they were disposing of the grease properly, we wouldn't have to do so much under the surface inspections.
Under the borough code, the user shall be required to submit maintenance records to the plumbing subcode official on a biannual basis or twice per year. So I don't know the answer to your question, whether that's being done or not.
Yes.
But your ordinance permits it, does.
We've put time immemorial. Roberta McEntee used to do it. Rest in peace.
To go over, that's so long. I think that was the reason for putting it on the agenda, because we really wanted to give Brian Gagnon some directives that
Correct.
we have to move these employees to get this done.
And in reference to your question, there is a grease trap cleaning maintenance log for 24 months that's supposed to be maintained by each food service
Correct.
facility, which is what you're referring to.
Correct.
I can't answer your question as to whether that's been
And
enforced.
my personal feeling is send out a warning shot to every restaurant and say, listen, we're coming by in 3 months, we're going to see it 24.
I do believe a notice has been sent to all the establishments. I was told that, regarding the grease, it was being sent, but it should be a random.
The restaurants have objected to the intrusion into their daily practices. So at this point, it's not an
I
easy thing.
object to the intrusion of their grease into the sewer system.
Absolutely.
But until the grease traps are relocated, I don't believe the problem's gonna change. You
But before they
understand
get relocated, if you know they're disposing the grease properly, you're gonna have less grease down the drain.
why. Understood.
They're also
That's
supposed to pump out the grease trap every 4 months in accordance with the ordinance. Everything you're referencing is in here.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty complete.
So the disposal you're saying is the tank that sits out in the back behind the building that you pour the grease into.
Records showing that tank was pumped out by a grease disposal.
And that's what I was talking about, with APP getting involved to try to make some sort of a group volume discount for the pumping
I want
services.
to say.
But to Brian's point, it is an enforcement thing
Yeah, absolutely.
on all levels.
Who's the inspector that's supposed to do part-time?
That's what they're working on, Paul.
It's currently plumbing subcode. We're gonna change the ordinance, it should also, in my opinion, have some other person.
Well, you can
Not
name
just
two.
Parks, you could name Dave as well, or you could
Yeah,
name
you can name
Paul,
two,
so, I'm not
but I
naming
also
people,
know
but-
that person also is currently doing the job in another municipality, so it's not that it's
Right.
foreign to that employee.
Thank you, Rick.
Some places the health department does it.
Right. But the
We don't have
record keeping going back 24 months is pretty hard to fake that stuff.
Right.
They have to have receipts, a disposal truck took it away. Can't tell me you didn't use any grease the past 6 months. I ate a lot of French
But
fries.
if you look at where the problem is, and you're familiar with where the problem's at,
I'm sorry?
if you look at where the problem is at, I'm telling you right now, it's the location of the grease.
Rick, I do not disagree with you.
But you understand that.
Absolutely. But it's the
You
administrative
don't
part.
get it down that in the town, do we?
Well, we do, as a matter of fact.
Not all the way down. You don't get it down by bars, by the Mobies.
Do get it by inlet,
You do get it there.
you do get it by inlet, you
Because
do
more
get it by
likely the
Havana.
Traps are inside the building. You should probably be 20, 30 feet away. We'll just,
Well, anyways,
okay,
thank you, Rick.
okay. I'm gonna close the public portion. Everybody good? Mayor? Oh, Robert, I'm sorry, yes, you did speak to me?
Just the two things that I have. I was waiting on a return phone call from the first assistant Mountain County prosecutor. Otherwise, it would have been out a little bit earlier. I did speak to the mayor a while back. I just wanted to clarify that on August 13th, 2017, a rock was found here at the Highlands Recreation Center with a swastika and the words "White Power" written on it. It was in the social media. Some news outlets had covered it. The last council meeting, I stated to the mayor and council that the investigation was closed, and that's all I had at that time. Through the course of the investigation, it was found that the rock was painted by a juvenile. There was no particular person group that was targeted by this throughout the course of the investigation. There were no white supremacy ideologies or hatred involved at all. Mountain County Prosecutor's Office was involved in this from the outset, along with the juvenile's parents. That's that. A while back, we had a presentation here from some individuals, and I'll just read the paragraph here. Easy Ride worked with the Borough of Highlands to conduct a walkability audit. Some of the council members participated in that in June of 2016 and provided a pedestrian safety presentation at the Highlands Elementary School through the Safe Routes to School program on December 16, 2016. On December 21st, 2016, Easy Ride team members met with North Jersey Transportation Planning Association, NJTPA, Highlands Borough Police and town officials to plan a full street smart campaign in the spring of 2017. Easy Ride worked with the NJTPA to develop a positive and collaborative relationship with Highlands Borough, the Borough Police Department, and the Borough Public School District. 3 campaign goals were set at those meetings. One was to change pedestrian and motorist behaviors to reduce the incidence of pedestrian injuries and fatalities in New Jersey, not just here in Highlands. Educate both motorists and pedestrians about their roles and responsibilities for safety, sharing the road, and increase enforcement of pedestrian safety laws and roadway user awareness. This is a report that we got back from the Street Smart campaign. I'm going to make available to the council. Got it back just a few weeks ago. What they did was they did a traffic study, a small traffic study. They targeted an intersection here in town, which is Shore Drive and Norwich Avenue. They did a pre-observation and a post-observation after the campaign, and they gave us some feedback. But through these programs, we also had the pedestrian safety grant that we rolled out at the same time. We were able to do that at the same time so that we had the funds available to do that. Through these programs, along with the walkability assessment, I was able to petition Monmouth County to have Linden Avenue designated as a school zone. It was never done before. So now if you ride on Linden Avenue, you'll see signs that a particular portion of Linden Avenue was designated as a school zone. There's no speed limit signs there as well. But when they placed the speed limit signs, they didn't realize they were covered by trees. So the Monmouth County Shade Tree Commission is going to come out. They put the signs at no cost to the borough. The Shade Tree Commission is going to come out. I've gotten permission from residents and the school to trim the trees at no cost to the borough. And that's just going to add greater visibility to the entire roadway. We submitted all of our information for these programs to Sustainable Jersey for the Silver Award. And we're working towards the goal. And I've recently been invited to the Easy Ride Champions for Change annual recognition event to be held in October. I just got to say the date, so I don't know what it encompasses yet. And I just want to remind everybody that school is back in session to just be mindful of the kids crossing and being out of the bus stops.
Thank you, Rob.
Hey, Rob, does that tree trimming include Water Ridge?
Just Linden Avenue, just by where they place the signs.
That other sign that has use your directional to make a left to go up Water Ridge?
What we'll do is we'll see if that's most likely a private residence.
Yeah.
But we'll talk to you about it. Thank you.
There's just one more thing I wanted to add. I got an email from a person in town, and it says, "Dear Mayor and the Council, my wife and I, along with my cousin Joe, own property at 35 Seeker. We have been property owners in Highlands for many years, and have always had very good experience with the borough's different departments. We recently had the occasion to interact with Mr. Mercado in the Code Enforcement Building Department, and felt compelled to let you know impressed us. Mr. Mercado was extremely easy to contact, showed up for our inspection exactly when he said he would. He could not have been more respectful, knowledgeable, and helpful. I just wanted you to know that we appreciate Mr. Mercado's friendly and helpful attitude towards his job. Eric Heitman.
Nice.
There you go.
Second that.
So, that guy's on the job. Mr. Mercado's a good guy,
Hard job.
a hard job.
Hard job.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thanks for coming out.